So yeah, Kirti, to you.
Thank you, Vijay.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Prasam, for a wonderful session, and I hope everyone enjoyed. And there are a lot of things to cover for the day. So before I start my session, I just want to thanks everyone for joining this Microsoft 365 Saturday. And today, this event could not happen with the help of the sponsors, Microsoft J Power 4, Panthera Technologies, and Soho Dragon, and of course, all the organizers who are putting their efforts to make this happen and allow everyone to be on a common platform where we can share and learn few things uh, with the help of the experts. So today I am going to talk about a few things about the webhooks in Microsoft Teams. So in this session, I'm going to talk about how to create an incoming and outgoing webhooks in Microsoft Teams using your Teams as well as from the Microsoft Teams client as well. And along with that, I will also explain few things like why we need webhooks and what are the different types of webhooks available for now. And before I jump into that, I just want to briefly give you a better introduction who I am. So myself, Kirti Prajapati, and I am a modern workplace consultant. I'm also an MVP in office development and Microsoft certified trainer. And I have been working with SharePoint since 2007, so it is like more than decade, around 14 plus years, and worked with all the flavors of SharePoint. And along with that, I'm also speaking in some of the local events, international events, and managing some workshops in our local community and working as a trainer for the corporate people and also an organizer of M365 Ahmedabad user group. Under this user group, we are conducting all the events like this SPS events, global boot camps, and yes, of course, we are also having free workshops for the developer community, uh, what has been released by Microsoft for the developer community. So this is all about me. And if you want to get in touch with me, then you can see that social media information on the right side of this slide. So we can be in touch, on the social media platform, and I will be more than happy to connect with all of you. Yeah. So uh, as you know that uh, today I'm going to talk about few things for these webhooks. So as a developer, and if you're working in an organization, so most of you know that and understand that the usage and adoption of Microsoft Teams are increasing day by day, right? And organizations are more into looking out for a kind of a solution which can be extended for the uh, uh, capabilities or the better collaboration within the Microsoft Teams. So to develop certain solutions and make it easy to use, and that could be available kind of centralized solution for the organizations. There are a lot of different options that as developer you can use. So the one of the option is you can use a domain generator or you can use App Studio, right? So today I'm going to talk about few things like what are the Teams apps, then what are the different types of Teams apps available, then as a developer to set up your environment, what are the prerequisites you should have, then what are the webhooks and why we need them, and once we have some introduction, then how to use it. So there are two options I will explain, one with the Microsoft Teams client and another one with the using your Teams and create your solution. And yeah, so this is all about the kind of basic information I'll share during the this like half an hour or 45 minutes from now. So first, I'll explain that what are the Teams apps. So Teams apps are a kind of combination of capabilities and entry points. So there are two things we can consider when we are talking about Teams apps. So one is the capabilities and another one is the entry points. So capabilities are a kind of extension points for building your apps, and entry points would be a kind of where from where the people can discover and use your app, right? So in Microsoft Teams, if you see that some apps are very simple, that could only send a notification, nothing else. While others could be very complex, like it from the app you can also manage kind of a patient information record, then the employee information record. So that could be a kind of complex app which can be accessed from the Teams. So the basic idea is like when planning your app, remember that team is a collaboration hub. So the best Teams app help people who can express themselves and work better together. For example, people can chat with your app's bot, right? So generally we are just starting the chat in Microsoft Teams. So that is our bot. So that could be considered as a capability in a channel. And now channel is entry point from where user can discover a different kind of chat group and a different kind of users information to whom they are planning to discuss with. So here bot is a capability and channel is an entry point as an example. Now what is capabilities? So capabilities are the extension points for building apps on the Microsoft Teams platform. So there are multiple ways to extend the Microsoft Teams capabilities. So every app is unique, right? So some might have only one capabilities, for example, webhook, while others have a few to give users option. Like they can just give the use option to the user that they can select anyone from provided options. For instance, your app could display data in central location that could be tab, Microsoft tabs, Microsoft Teams tab, and present that same information through a conversational interface. That could be your bot. So, in short, your Teams app can have one or all of these core capabilities that could be tab, messaging extensions, bots, webhooks, and connectors. So, what can you do with the tabs? So, tabs get information more conveniently. Sometimes you just need to make things easier to find. So, in our tabs, if you want to have kind of folder and some documents, then you can just create that tab and upload or have all the documents or whatever the material you want to share with the users, that could be available in tabs. So it will make things easier to find. So you just need to open the tab and you can get everything. So it will display an important web page. You can also display an important web page in a tab. So if you want to have some kind of SharePoint site URL or site page you want to display in the tab, then you can just have to embed that URL. So that URL page URL will be your page can be rendered in your Microsoft Teams tab. And that could be a kind of a full screen embedded web experience configured for the team channel or group chat, and all members interact with the same web based content. So a you can say it's a stateless single page application experience in that form. And the another one is the messaging extensions. So those are shortcuts for inserting external content into a conversation, or you can take action on messaging without leaving the team. So if you want to take an action on specific message, then there is no need to leave the teams. You can just have that conversation going on within the Microsoft Teams only. So for example,
ಈಗ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡೋರು ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡೋರು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಲಕ್ಷಾಂತರ ಕೋಟಿ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡೋಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದು
I
ಬೇಕೇ
think someone is unmute.
Someone is, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
So the link unfurling provides a rich content when sharing content from a common URL. So that's another example, and it will help us to like make it easier uh, to multitask. With messaging extensions, you can also quickly share external information in a conversation within the teams. And you also can act on a message without leaving the teams for the messaging extensions as well. And the third one is the bots. So bot basically turn words into an action. So conversation often results in the need to do something, or we can say it turns our words into an action. So using that, you can interact with members of the conversation through chat and responding to the events or whatever the conversation you have having with the users. And conversations with a bot in this context are visible to all members of the team or channel or group. So bot conversations should be relevant to everyone. So you cannot hide from other users. And the fourth one is the webhooks and the connectors. So that will help to communicate with external apps and allow an external service to post messages into a conversation and users to send messages to the services. So today I'm going to talk about webhooks and connectors in this session. Now this is for the capabilities. Now what about the entry points? So the entry points is a kind of the Microsoft Teams platform provides a flexible set of entry points from where people can discover and use your app. So your app can be as simple as embedding an existing website in a personal tab, or it could be an app that users interact with across several entry points. So there are a number of entry points available from there user can access that. And it is important to carefully plan your app's entry points and that help the most successful apps feel native to Teams. So it is better that you can plan how your user will try to interact with your app and what are the best entry points for that. So Teams channels and group chats are collaboration spaces. So apps that use these entry points are available to all members and typically focus on additional workflows or unlocking new social interaction for the teams. So we can, as you know that there are a number of options available to create these applications. So I'll show you that how we can use the entry points. Now I'll jump into this webhooks. So what are webhooks and connectors? So webhooks and connectors are a kind of simple way to connect your web services to channels and teams inside Microsoft Teams. So using that, you can just access the web services to your channels and teams in your Microsoft Teams clients. And now, why we need webhooks? So webhooks is a helpful when we would want our application to send data to other application, or if you want to extend the application on particular events. So that will help to enhance the functionality of the out of the box features available with that capabilities. And webhook provide flexibility for developers to extend event and write their own code and perform any task as per their need and imagination. There is no restriction on that. So once I have the demo, then you will understand that what this means, why we need webhooks. And webhooks also respond as soon as possible without waiting for the operation to complete a response, and it should be provide indicating the request has been received. So it will not take long time just to respond you back. So it gives like within 5 or 10 seconds you can get your response from the teams. Generally, Microsoft Teams wait for 5 seconds before confirming the request timeout. So that is there. And there are two types of webhooks available. One is the incoming webhooks, and the another one is the outgoing webhooks. So incoming webhooks are a special type of connector. Both are connectors, but incoming webhooks are special type of connector in Teams that provide a simple way for the external app to share content in team channels and are often used as tracking and notification tools. So if you want to notify something that or you want to track something, then you can use this incoming webhooks. And Teams provides a unique URL to which you send a JSON payload with a message that you want to post. Typically, that could be a kind of card format. And incoming webhooks is scoped and configured at the channel level. So you cannot have that for the teams or something like that. You can have that for the channel level. And the another type is outgoing webhooks. So in Microsoft Teams, outgoing webhook provide a simple way to allow users to send messages to your web service. And that is also without having to go through the full process of creating bots. uh, the bot could be created using Microsoft Bot Framework or any other approach. So outgoing webhook post data from Teams to any chosen service which can be capable of accepting the JSON payload. So there is no need to use anything else. You can directly send the data from there or accept the data from there in a JSON payload. And once an outgoing webhook is added to team, it acts like bot. So once it is added in your teams, then it will behave like a bot. So I'll explain you that once we create the outgoing webhooks, then how you can interact with that and how that will respond for your specific questions or query you are typing. And it will listening in channels for messages using at the rate. We have to use the at the rate mention, and that will sending notifications to external web services and respond with rich message that can include cards or image. So you could have a combination of card, image, text, whatever you want to render as a response from this webhook. So yeah, and outgoing webhooks are scoped at the team level. So this is the basic information of how uh, what are the webhooks and what are the different types of webhooks available so far. So I'll jump into this demo now. So I will explain that how to create this webhooks. So for that, I am just opening my Teams in browser, and first I'll explain that how to create the incoming webhooks. So incoming webhooks is very simple to create and follow the steps. So let's say for example, this is my M365 Bangalore is my team, and I want to create a new channel for that. So I'm just adding another channel. So I'm just adding this BNR channel and adding it. And whatever the channel you are, if you want to use this for existing channel, you can do that. But for this demo, I'm just creating the new channel. And then you click on this three ellipses, then go to the connectors. And once you open these connectors, you will have an option to select your incoming webhook options, right? So from here you can check that it will send data from a service to your Office 365 group in real time. So you can just click on the configure and give a name kind of BLR name BLR. And if you want to upload your custom image, then you can use this instead of the default one. Now just click on the create. So once you click on the create, it will give you kind of this URL. So we need to copy this. This is the webhook URL which we need use. We might have to use later on. So I'm just copying this URL. I'm just clicking on the done, and I'm just pasting that here. Right. So this is the URL that we will check how it will look like. So from where do I test this? Right. So for that, I'm just using my Postman service. In Postman, I will use verb post, and the URL which I just copied, I'll use that. And in the body part, I have my predefined a kind of JSON, and I'm just clicking on the send. So it will return me okay, my uh, option, all the configuration is working fine, right? So this way we can verify that whether that your incoming webhook is working or not. Now I'm just trying to use this in this Microsoft Teams. So I'm just checking that within this channel, I'm just trying to have this at the rate. You can see that incoming, this is the incoming webhook I just created. I have just uh, triggered something from the postman, and I can see that that is available in Microsoft Teams. And once you click on learn more, it will redirect you to specific URL uh, from where you want that user could get more information. So this is a simple example that could be used for creating the incoming webhooks. And another one is the outgoing webhook. So that for that I'll just want to use the Yeoman, so you can understand that how you can create using the Microsoft Teams client, as well as if you want to use your Teams, then you can use that as well. So for that I am assuming that you could have that prerequisites installed, like you need to install Yeoman and Gulp CLI, and then you need to install the Microsoft Teams app generator as well. So once you are done with those prerequisites installation, then you can just create a kind of a directory from where you want to create this solution. So for this demo, I have just created this folder called Outgoing WH samples, right? And I have just opened that in my node command prompt. So from here I'm just typing yo teams command. So this is the command we are using to have any kind of development for teams. So the question should be there, like why we are using your teams, though we can have this uh, SPFX web parts development available, but there is a limitation that if you want to go with the SPFX kind of SPFX generator development, then there is only one option you can create for Microsoft Teams, that is tab. So you cannot create these additional features which I have explained here in this. Yeah. So these are the different options that you can create using your teams. Using SPFX generator, you can just create the tabs. You cannot create messaging extension, bots, and webhooks. So using your teams command, you can use that, and just after typing your teams, you just press enter, and it will ask you few questions that needs to be answered. So what is the solution name? So most probably I will go with all the default values for this demo. I'm using the current folder. I'll go with this same app project, company name. Here are a few things needs to be take care by the user who is creating this. So the company name should not be more than 32 characters. So I'll go with the default one, and I will use the default version 1.6. If you want to change for dev preview, you can just use the up and down arrow key, and you can change whatever the version you are going to use. And I do not want to use the partner ID, so I'm just keeping this. And from here, as I mentioned, that if you use Microsoft Your Teams command, then you have this different options to create different solutions, right? So you can create tabs, bot, outgoing webhook, connector, messaging extension, command, localization support. So whatever that option you want to create, you just need to use the space bar to select and unselect, and use down arrow key to select that. So I'm just creating this outgoing webhook for this solution. So I'm selecting that, and this is my default URL created. It is a kind of name of the Microsoft Teams app project dot azure websites dot net. If you are using Azure portal, then you can change it if you want, otherwise you can go with the default one. And then I do not want to load this indicator, then I do not want to have the test framework, I do not want to have the application insights as well, and yeah, the same name. So by entering the answer for these questions, this command will scaffold all the requirement and create a solution for you. So let me open this solution in another command prompt because I want to show you that how you can use ngrok and other commands. So I'm just opening this in another command prompt. So once the scaffolding is done, I can open that solution in Visual Studio. So for that, I'm just typing code space dot, and my solution will be open in the Visual Studio Code. So here, in terms of understanding how the project structure is created, so if you remember or relate with the SPFX client-side web part, so you can see that uh, we have app and manifest folder in SRC. So that is not happening when you are creating a client-side web part using SPFX SharePoint framework generator. So the most important thing for this demo, we are going to use this the environment file .env. So this is a kind of configuration for your password and IDs and secret token keys. So you can just have those values and that will be your app will be configured as is. So we will use this section, that is security token, for managing the outgoing webhook. So I'll show you that from where we can get this key security token value and how it will help us to get this done in Microsoft Teams. So here in the folder called uh, webhook will present inside this folder. Let me open that app. Going, yeah. So this is the main folder where our file resides, and from where you can change your code that could be rendered if you want. And this is a kind of simple eco webhook. So I'm not doing anything in this file for now, but you can change as per your requirement. So I'll use that. Now, how to configure it, right? So as in previous session, Prasam mentioned that there is a command called ngrok we can use to expose the endpoint URLs. So for accessing this and providing the temporary server URL, so I'm using this gulp ngrok dash serve command, and after that it will provide me a kind of temporary URL which can be used for uh, to get the security token for this application. So from here you can see I have the host name and this is the URL. So I'm just copying this URL and I need to append slash API slash webhook. So this is my endpoint URL which can be used for callback URL when I'm configuring this outgoing webhook from my Microsoft Teams. So I have just copied that. Now I am opening my Microsoft Teams client and I want to use this in this Microsoft Teams because the scope of the outgoing webhook is Microsoft Teams. It is not for channel. So from here, I'm just clicking on manage teams, then apps. And here we have that option like create an outgoing webhook at the right bottom. So from here, once I click on that, it will ask me a couple of things. So what would be the name of this tab? So I'm just typing BLR outgoing webhook and the callback URL. So here I need to use this URL. I have just copied from this ngrok command. So I'm just copying that and using here. And you need to type in something here. So I'm just sample. These are the mandatory fields that needs to be added. and you can change this image if you want, but I'll go with the default one and click on the create. So once we create that, here we can get the security token. So we need to copy that, and you can just paste it here for further reference, and I'm just closing this, right? So now I can see this is done. Now how my this webhook, outgoing webhook will be available here, right? So for that, I just need to restart this ngrok command. I'm just typing here security token, and yeah, I need to copy this security token into this file. So I'm just using that, Control C, and in dot environment file we have the security token value, so I'm just using those, and you can see that security token for the default outgoing webhook, so you can use that. I'm just saving it. Now I'm just have Control C and again restart this command using ngrok sub, and again I will get another host URL, so I will copy that, Control C, and I'll append this. I'm just copying this and using, I will update my existing outlook, this outgoing webhook. So I'm just going there, managing teams, apps, and yeah, I have that available, BLR hyphen outgoing webhook, which we have just created. So I'm opening that, and instead of this URL, I'm just updating with the new one, right? And just clicking on save. So my outgoing webhook is available. So I'll just go to that Teams general or this channel and start conversation. Rate BLR. You can see BLR hyphen outgoing webhook is available. So once I click on that, it will just respond me with the echo. Because I have not write anything in the code, so I'm just typing hello outgoing webhooks. So it will respond me with the default one. So this is the response from this webhook. So this way you can have, this is a kind of textual information, but if you want to have a kind of card plus image plus text, then you can just update your code accordingly from this file, and change your logic accordingly, and you can get this done. So this is how this outgoing webhook will work for your application, and uh, uh, this could be very helpful when we do not want to create a dedicated bot. So most of the time for this kind of solution, we are just looking out for an option as a bot, but this could be an alternative option if you want to use for less intense tasks, which does not take much time. So it is a kind of simple solution rather than creating the bots, and this is how you can use this outgoing webhooks for your Microsoft Teams. So this is all about incoming and outgoing webhooks, and if you want to learn few more things, then these are some of the references you can consider, that will give you a kind of brief introduction or information and what are the webhook connectors, and how to use these outgoing and incoming webhooks, and other relevant solutions documentation as well. Yeah, so that is all about it, and thank you very much for having me and uh, providing your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vijay. Yeah, Jenkins, I'm
Thank you.
fine.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kirti. Really wonderful demo and presentation. Thank you very much for your time and presentations. Yeah. Yeah. Next, I'm moving to 1 second. Yeah.